And welcome back to Dylan and Ross Save Sports. I am your host, as always, Dylan Sanders. You can find me on Twitter at Dilly Sanders. Joining me today is, as always, this guy. What's your name? I forgot.
Steve.
You can find Steve over on Ross Jackson Nola on Twitter. He's verified. He's cooler than me, so he has the blue check. That's what that means.
I forget I'm verified until you say I'm verified.
So at least once a day. How does it feel, Ross, to be better than the common folk?
It's not different. I just have to be a little bit more like cognizant and aware of what I tweet.
And
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah. Oh, and they give you a social media person that runs your account for you, and daily croissants.
I see. Interesting.
Pre-buttered, of course.
Pre-buttered?
Pre-buttered.
Pre-brussied?
Pre-brussied?
Ross, I want to jump straight into something. Because there's been a major development in something we've been talking about the past couple of days. Garrett Cole has since actually said something about Spider Tack, Ross.
Oh, okay.
And I want to ask you if it is better or worse than not saying anything at all.
Oh no.
I liked the tweet, but now it's not showing up. Here we go. Let's see. Here.
Oh, it's a video. Oh, okay.
It's hard. I mean, it's so hard to grip the ball. For Pete's sake, it's part of the reason why almost every player on the field has something, regardless if they're a pitcher or not, to help them control the ball. I think that I don't have a solution, but again, we are aligned in a lot of areas with the commissioner's office on this, and please just talk to us. Please just work with us. I know you have the hammer here, but there's we've been living in a gray area for so long. I would just hate to see players get hurt. I would hate to see balls start flying at people's heads. I had a really tough time gripping the baseball tonight, especially early when it was windy. So I don't really care to be inflammatory here, Joel. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
We've all had this voice crack before.
I was gonna say.
I just can't. It's hard. I mean, it's so hard to grip the ball.
I mean, look. Go ahead.
Ross, I want to ask you that reaction. How he talks about his struggles today. He went up against one of the best hitting teams in the league yesterday. The Toronto Blue Jays. How do you think he performed, given that performance? That's after the game, about how much he struggled.
I mean, by the sound of it, it didn't go well for him. But I'm willing to wager that it did.
Yeah, I mean, against one of the best hitting teams in the country right now, he gave up 4 hits and walked 1 player and gave up 2 runs.
So
in 8 innings.
Not that bad, Garrett. Not that bad, buddy. I mean, if that's him struggling, that must mean that he throws like 1 hit, no hit games every other time he pitches, right?
No, I mean he has an average above 2. So technically, it was
kind of right where
he did better without it.
Oh man, but you can hear. I mean, the guy sounded like he was
about to cry.
Yeah, man, he sounded really upset. And I understand because like he's teetering on a 10-day suspension in that
with pay.
Yeah.
He's teetering on a 10-day vacation. Let's
Right.
call it what it is.
But you know what I mean? Like that's like his reputation, like everything. He's kind of dancing around in that moment where he wants to be honest about how like crappy this situation is and how terribly it's been handled by the MLB. But he also doesn't want to like kill his reputation as a pitcher. I mean, like I get why his response was so visceral there.
Do you want to compare it to the reaction of another pitcher?
I'd love that.
All right. This is of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I know that.
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Have you ever heard of this guy?
I heard of that guy.
All right, Twitter, let's play a fun little game. Is this legal or is this illegal? Let's try it again. Here it is. I squeeze the ball. Is that legal or illegal? Vote below. All right, Twitter, let's play a
Oh, wow.
So quite a different response.
Very different response. Very different response.
Okay. So, and the results of the poll, Ross, 20,000 votes. What do you think the response is?
I'm gonna
Legal
say,
or illegal?
I'm gonna say it's in favor of legal.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? I'll tell you it's legal or illegal. It's legal. It's
Legal.
voted legal.
Yeah.
What do you think watching that video? Should that be legal or illegal? Illegal, Ross.
I don't know. I don't know that I was. I mean, clearly there was something on his hand, right?
That was the
stick
spider
it.
tack.
That was spider tack. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that again, like I think that if they found a way to make it a controlled substance that everybody was able to use so they could grip the baseballs, then I really don't have a problem with it. Mm-hmm. I really don't. It's just like there are better ways to go about it than these kind of haphazard kind of like means of addressing a major issue in the sport. Like that shouldn't include stopping play to check people for foreign substances. Like, stop. Like, I don't know. I think it's a little ridiculous, Dylan. That's my honest response. Like, I think it's ridiculous.
Baseball is run very poorly. I think
Yeah.
that's the bottom line
Yeah.
that we can take from this.
Yeah,
I just
pretty
wanted
much.
to give an update on a story that's been developing the past couple days.
No, that's great. That's really great. And I love seeing Garrett Cole's updated response. Now, is that better or worse than the first response?
I'd say he's getting made fun of equally as much on Twitter.
Right.
I think it's a better response.
I think so too. I thought so too. Because at least like you could see it have its effect on the player. You know what I mean? And that sort of plea for just hear us out, just listen to us, just work with us, just talk to us. Like that's a sign for exactly what you said before, that it's just a poorly run organization. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it's a little crazy. Well, Ross, that was it. That was my favorite thing from Twitter. What's your favorite thing from Twitter today?
My favorite thing from Twitter today is Cole Beasley.
Oh God.
Have you seen Cole Beasley's recent vaccination tweet?
No, I have not, Ross. Enlighten me.
Yeah,
So it's an old radio
It's
trick.
an old radio trick. There you go. Cole Beasley's vaccination tweet basically said that, and this I agree with him on, by the way. The first couple of things on this I agree with him on, which is that the NFL Players Association is not for the players. I agree with that. I think the NFL Players Association is kind of a joke. But when it comes down to it, is what Cole Beasley said is that he doesn't understand why people continue to throw the idea that 98% of people who are vaccinated won't get COVID again in his face, because there's a lesser chance than him getting in the NFL and playing for 10 years, but there he is. So he's basically equating his ability to beat the odds in terms of the numbers of getting football and utilizing that as a means of saying that if I got vaccinated because I made it in football, I'd probably still get COVID. That's effectively his tweet, and not a fan. Not a fan of that logic at all.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a little weird. Cole Beasley, man. Can I give Cole Beasley a little piece of advice?
Oh, come here.
Just get off Twitter, man. just go catch passes. That's all I gotta say. So that's all I gotta say to Cole Beasley. Yeah, he's been one of these guys that just stays on Twitter and stays,
Incendiary.
Stays in the fire,
Right.
in the crossfire of Twitter.
Yeah.
Really adding fuel to the flames.
Yeah. It's weird. I agree with his assessment of the NFL Players Association, because the NFL Players Association I mean, they're great when it comes to like media relation and stuff like that, but like in terms of like, I mean, you look at this race norming thing that just happened in the NFL. It's where the NFL finally got rid of race norming, and the NFLPA and the NFL, like, they were all a part of keeping that around and fighting in favor of it and everything, despite the fact that it limited, coverage and denied coverage to people that needed it based on this understanding of black people having a lesser cognitive function than non-black people in the NFL. And because of that, so many people who had cognitive impairments post-football were basically told, nope, you were like that before. You know what I mean? Like, it's messed up. And the NFLPA was right there with all of it, not fighting for the players alongside. You also see the issues in the CBA, stuff like that. Like, there have been times where they've come up short, but this I don't think is one of them. Now, I will say that the NFL has done something really interesting to where not only have they incentivized players for getting vaccinations, which makes sense, but they've started to change things in a way that punishes players for not being vaccinated, which I don't really agree with.
They're not allowing them to do social media sponsorships, right?
No sponsorships.
No sponsorships.
Yeah, it was like social media, press, and marketing sponsorships are prohibited or something like that in there.
Which I don't really see the correlation.
Because
there is no correlation.
Right. Like, that's up to the company that's wanting to sponsor or that's wanting to do the partnership or whatever. Like, that's entirely outside of the NFL and everything.
I get like if you're vaccinated, you can have your mask. If you're not vaccinated, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to have the mask. We can move past social distancing. If you're not vaccinated, do all that. What I don't get is like, okay, you're not allowed to make any extra money.
Right. You're not allowed to do any of those sponsorships. You're not allowed to do things that
you can't tweet, because like tweeting does not add to your likelihood to spread COVID. So I don't get it.
Somebody please inform Cole Beasley of this. I think.
Well, his tweeting might hurt it.
But I do think like this other thing too, and I know Nick Underhill pointed this out yesterday too. But like last year, Nick Underhill, Nick, he's been on the show. He's been on the show for June 1st of 2020, and then again June 1st of 2021. Remember? But, these players were allowed to travel together last year. They just had to make sure that they traveled with restrictions. And there was, people were in their pods and things like that. But, like, now all of a sudden you can't travel with your teammates. Hey, you have to travel separately and everything. Like, it's, like, I understand the idea of incentivizing players that have been vaccinated. Just like you mentioned. Like, you don't have to wear the mask. You don't have to social distance. You can eat in the cafeteria with everybody else, stuff like that. But, like, there are things now for unvaccinated players that are different than they were last season, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, essentially, it should remain the same to last season unless you were vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Not new consequences or new results based on both. Both or either. Mm-hmm. That's where I get a little confused.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I don't know. It's a little weird.
Ross. But overall, just go get vaccinated. Just be vaccinated. Damn it.
Please.
Like,
Yeah, golly.
Right.
Ross, something big's happening in 5 days.
Facebook podcast.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about the NBA lottery.
Yeah.
And that's speaking of the NBA, Ross. NBA segment. I'll put on my Rockets hat. What happened in the playoffs last night?
Bad day for Sixers fans.
Yep.
Bad day for Sixers fans, man. Up 26 points?
That's at one point, I think. Yeah.
And then lost. It was bad.
Can I just point out the fact that I just realized I was thinking of a title. I was trying to fill in a title for this episode on Twitter. I just named it Sports. So that's all we got to talk about today is sports, because that's the title of today's episode. It's just sports.
Easy.
A
good title for today's episode would have been what Peter Bukowski tweeted me yesterday, which is the Philadelphia were up 26ers.
The Philadelphia 99% chance to winners.
Yes, yeah. What a wild game.
What a brave tweet by the Philadelphia 76ers at halftime, being up 22 points, tweeted out, are we supposed to be nervous or something? And put a couple yawning emojis. Brave tweet. Is brave the right word?
I think foolish might be the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I get all like being hype and being excited, but that to that level,
yeah.
Whenever your team blew a 26-point lead earlier, a couple of days ago or whatever,
right? Like you've done it before.
You've done it before recently. Stupid. Not a tweet. Not a tweet you should tweet
at all.
And then they didn't tweet for like the next hour or so.
Yeah, of course, because they were watching their world shatter.
And how funny is it that it was an Atlanta team on the other side of it?
I thought it was great for the city of Atlanta. We've talked about this before on the show, Dylan. We like the city of Atlanta. Not a fan of the Atlanta Falcons, obviously. Because who is? No one. Check the stadium. But it's always nice when something good happens for the city of Atlanta because the Atlanta Falcons fail them so much. As Bomani Jones once said.
I put out a pretty incendiary tweet last night from the Canal Street Chronicles.
I saw that.
That worked out right in my favor. It got people riled up very easily, and it was really good. I tweeted out, at least one Atlanta sports team knows how to not disappoint the city. People thought that was a good one, or if it was Atlanta replying, they still got upset.
I wonder why.
No clue. Shout out to Hawks. Shout out to Trae Young. Shout out to Clint Capella. Not shout out to the fact that in the second half, only two 76ers scored a bucket.
Woof. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons?
And Seth Curry. Ben Simmons 0 for 1 in the second half. And missed, I think, 10 free throws.
Yike.
Shout out to Joel Embiid missing those two big free throws there at the end.
Those were big free throws.
Shout out to that fan that got memed immediately.
I contributed to that. I'm pulling it up right now because I think it is a fantastic. It's such a fantastic photo. It was too good. I immediately tweeted out that this kid is gonna get memed right away. And then I memed him, actually.
Oh, he missed both of them things.
He is so upset.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Understandably so, for sure.
Rightfully so.
I just have a DM open, right in the middle of all that.
All good.
Sorry, I gave my dude Sterling a shout out for his wrestling content. So that's great.
Shout out to Sterling. And also, Ross, shout out to Paul George.
Yeah, Paul George carrying the Los Angeles Clippers in place of Kawhi Leonard, who's out indefinitely at the moment. Not too shabby, Paul George.
37 points, 16 rebounds.
Yeah, thank goodness somebody didn't finish a sentence they started yesterday.
Hey, chill. Did we really say? Could we really say he carried them? I mean, Reggie Jackson scored 22 points.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. Let me ask you a question: if Kawhi Leonard, what was Paul George's stat line for yesterday?
37 and 16.
37 and 16. So if Kawhi Leonard had 37 and 16 in a game,
I'd be saying, listen, Nicholas Batum went 3 for 6 from the field with 9 and 7.
I'll tell you what, I thought that game was going to Utah early because Bojan Bogdanovic looked incredible early. He was
And
like
then he didn't.
And then quickly did not.
He was 7 or 7. Steve started, I think, 7 of 7 from 3
Yeah.
and ended 9 of 17.
Woof.
Yeah. Not ideal, let me say that.
Yeah. Yeah, accurate assessment.
Thank you.
Accurate
Thank you.
assessment. Not ideal at all, for sure. Yeah, that was a little wild.
Yeah.
For sure.
Ross, also in the basketball world, got some news out of New Orleans today.
Oh.
Well, not out of New Orleans, but out of Zion's camp.
Yes.
That some of his family members want him on another team. Which, can I say, that is the least impactful thing that could come out and cause a stir.
I love how much that all of a sudden matters.
Some of the family members in the Dylan Sanders household want spaghetti for dinner, but who knows? That's just as important.
Oh man, they'll do anything. They'll do anything to trash the New Orleans Pelicans for landing Zion Williamson.
I guarantee it was someone. It was Zion's cousin's baby father who has a cousin who is twice related or twice removed from the family. Was like, man, Pel's looking sus.
Family.
and then ESPN's like, and then that's where we're at today.
And that's how he got to June 17th of 2021. Oh my goodness.
Am I wrong though?
I'm sure it was I don't know about ESPN being run by,
Caveman SpongeBob.
yeah. but certainly like you can look at this and you can pretty easily see that like this is not a story, that this is a non-story altogether. Everything. And it's just, it's just one of those things where it's a narrative to run against New Orleans and Zion, which the national media has been intent upon doing since they won the lottery. Because they want Zion in a big market.
Well, boy, do I have bad news for them. Zion's still under contract for 2 years, and I can guarantee you there is no chance that he is getting traded from New Orleans.
No, none at all. Not at all. We also got more big news for a team that you absolutely hate.
The Oklahoma Mavericks.
The Oklahoma City Mavericks, or the Oklahoma Mavericks, South Oklahoma Mavericks.
Yeah.
Rick Carlisle, their coach, left. He's gone. He's done. But he dipped. He was like, I'm done here.
It was like, doses.
Which is wild. So now you have Donnie Nelson out on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, Rick Carlisle out.
Yeah. And really, Luka really came out and said, man, I'm going to miss Rick. I liked Rick, but I'm not the one making decisions here. So
that is exactly what somebody making decisions would say.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm not the one making decisions here.
Yeah, I just work here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I punch in, I punch out, and then I'm out of here. You know?
I'm not the one that's gonna say they should trade Kristaps Porzingis, but maybe they will.
He just starts suggesting moves. Like, listen, I'm not saying there's something about that Jordan Clarkson fella, but there might be something about that Jordan Clarkson fella. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
There's something about him.
That's how Magic Johnson really talked whenever he was the GM, and then got fined every day. I'm not saying I want Steph Curry to come over here, but he's welcome to.
If he's interested, I'll talk to him. But that's on him.
I'm not the one making.
Not the one making decisions here. So,
and then Luka Doncic then said, "Man, I liked. I wish the next coach some good luck. I'm not gonna be there."
Oh man, the fact that we don't talk about that Magic Johnson moment more right now is wild, because there's never been anything like that. That is a once in a lifetime moment in NBA, in sports history. Not just like, you don't have the president of basketball, basketball operations, or your general manager, or whatever is equivalent across all the other sports, say during a post-game press conference that he's, I ain't worried about it. I'm not going to be here. That doesn't happen. And we don't talk about it anymore. And that's insane to me. I mean, here we are talking about it, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not that as popular a thing. Like, that's something we should still talk about as like one of the most confusing moments of sports history. Just baffling moments.
Pretty great.
We'll need to come up with a list of most baffling moments in sports history. Mm-hmm. It's like that the Green Bay Seattle replacement ref game, that New Orleans Saints kickoff return from the Rams years ago, where it landed in the end zone and nobody touched it and everybody just walked off the field, and so the Rams player picked it up and just kind of jogged to the other end zone for a touchdown. Like, all of these little moments. None of them, though, live up to Magic Johnson during a post-game press. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. What a wild time. Well, let's talk more about the Mavericks here in just a moment on the other side. We'll jump to a break real quick, and then when we come back, we'll talk more Mavericks, and then we'll talk more about the games going on this evening. So we'll have all that coming up for you and more here. Dylan Rossi Sports, Full Press Coverage, Full Press Radio Network. Oakley dokley.
What do you want to do to close out the show?
Well, just keep on talking, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying, Rose?
Having a good old time. Having a good old time.
Have a good timey time.
The Raiders signed Darren Lee.
Oh, that guy.
From the New York
I was really
Jets.
excited about him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's really fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Defensive end Jordan Willis of the 49ers has been suspended for 6 games of the 2021 regular season.
This is a good tweet. Is Harvard to LSU the funniest transfer trajectory in college football?
Does this happen often?
It's happened twice.
Wow. Tell me more.
It was Liam Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just find it funny that I think it is just funny, like the contrast between Harvard and LSU.
Yeah, there's an enormous contrast there.
As Bum Chillips, one of my favorite.
Oh yeah, I love Bum Chillips.
One of my favorite Twitter followers said, "Just coming back to your friends at Harvard, covered in tats and 30 pounds heavier, like you enlisted in the Beer Marines. Tries to blend back in at alumni functions when you play Wipe Me Down and he starts smashing glasses and spelling out Boosie."
I love it.
Bum Chillips, great Twitter account.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic name.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I agree. Man.
What is your go-to summer activity? Yeah, some people like go to lakes. Some people go to, they go swimming. Some people
Probably swimming.
swimming.
I love a good swim.
Yeah, this is the first time that like during a summer I'm gonna have time and it's less of a pandemic outside. And so I wanna.
I like going on walks.
Walks. I might go hiking.
Hiking's fun.
I want to go hike the Hollywood sign.
And steal it.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought that went without saying.
Just steal the D. Make it Hollywood.
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 Yeah, because
Remember-
last summer.
That one time,
Stayed
that person changed the sign from Hollywood to Holly Boob.
Yes. That wasn't that long ago. That was just a couple years ago.
And you know who that was?
Who?
It's the same person that flashed Garrett Cole at the World Series.
Really?
Same person.
Is it actually the same person?
It is like actually. the
Oh,
same
it's like
person.
legitimately the same person. Oh,
Like,
this guy.
legit.
This person is just a practical
Julia
joker.
Julia Rose is her
Wow.
name. Yes,
Holy crap.
she's from New Orleans. Shout out.
Wow.
She was on some MTV show
Gotcha.
that got her famous,
Nice.
and then she just always does really random stuff. That's how I know so much about her.
Love it. All right, here we go. All right, everybody, we are back. Dylan Ross City Sports, Full Press Coverage, Full Press Radio Network. Dylan, let's pick up on our conversation before we hit
Nope.
the break there. Dylan.
Nope, I'm
Dylan.
I'm leaving. I'm
Dylan.
gone.
At Dilly Sanders on Twitter. You could follow him. You can follow me on Twitter. Oh, now my aspect ratio has changed, so I have to actually sit up.
You can go back down.
Thank you. At Dilly Sanders on Twitter. Myself, Ross Jackson, at Ross Jackson. Nola on Twitter. DER Safe Sports. At Full Press Radio as well. Dylan, I'm going to ask the space above your forehead a question because it looks smart.
Okay. Yep.
Because of
yep.
how big it is. Is the Dallas Mavericks coaching position an appealing position,
Yes. Easily.
despite the lack of GM, despite seeing the GM and head coach leave within days of one another?
Number 77's there, and so it is
Kinda all
an
that matters,
attractive
right?
job. Yes.
Yeah, and Mark Cuban's your owner.
You
Which
gotta feel like I can save this. I got Luca
right.
for now, until he leaves to go to Houston.
Right, I forgot about
Honestly, I think Houston's the better destination just because we all know he's going to be there in a couple of years.
that. Good save. Very good save. Let's see if there are any. I'm trying to see if there are any. Yes, there are coaching specials on betonline.ag. Next, Boston Celtics head coach, number 1, Sam Cassell.
Cassell.
Sam Cassell. I remember Sam Cassell. He's played for the Bucks.
He played for a couple teams.
Played for
He
a
was-
couple
I think it was mostly not for the Clippers.
Yeah, probably. Chauncey Billups being number 2, and then Jason Kidd, for whatever reason, being number 3.
He played for the Rockets, Suns, Mavericks, Nets, Bucks, Timberwolves, Clippers, and Celtics.
Woof.
There's a lot.
Yikes.
He spent the most time though for the Bucks. 4 years playing for the Bucks. He won 3 NBA rings. 2 with the Rockets, 1 with the Bucks. I know 1 with the Celtics.
Yeah. Woof. Well, he is the number 1 option currently on betonline.ag at plus 200 for the next Boston Celtics head coach. After him is Chauncey Billups at plus 350, and then there's a gap between Billups and Jason Kidd at plus 900. And there are several tied there. 4 tied there, including Nate McMillan.
Where Ross, it's not going to be a betting thing yet, but after the Milwaukee Bucks get eliminated tonight, who do you think the next coach of the Bucks is going to be?
I don't know.
Bro,
That's really interesting. Charles Lee maybe just moves right up into that position.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he would have to be a front runner. Charles Lee, of course, the general during the Continental Army of the American Revolutionary War.
I think try another Charles Lee.
Charles Lee, Attorney General from Virginia.
That's the one. That's what we're looking for.
Yep. Yeah. I hate our show so much. I mean, I love it. Of course, Charles Lee, previously of the Kingdom of Great Britain.
There was a report that came out earlier today, though, via our friend Fletcher Mackle.
But he's not very happy about the tax situation.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just gonna keep running with it.
I love it. Basically saying that Charles Lee, there was an NBA sources that he basically mentioned, saying that I'd be surprised if Charles Lee isn't the Pelicans head coach. Lee is great, but wonders if Nola is the right fit for him. Fletcher Mackle at Fletcher WDSU. So that was a pretty interesting one.
I like Charles Lee Young. I think that they need to go with the young route.
Yeah.
I think he's 36, which is young for an NBA head coach. 36 years old, has had great success in Milwaukee. I think that this is sweet. In his Wikipedia bio, Lee is married to his college sweetheart, Lindsay. I like how it's phrased.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, no, he was, he's got a little fight in him. He was undrafted in the NBA and is now, come fight back. He graduated from Bucknell.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be I know a lot of fans of the Pelicans, yourself included, want Teaspoon.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Charles Lee would be someone to be excited about.
I think Charles Lee would be somebody to be excited about, too. I feel the same way about Ime Udoka, right? Yeah. He's another one that I would be pretty excited about as well. A current assistant for the Brooklyn Nets. Mm-hmm. So he's got some experience here working with, star talent like Zion Williamson, and building a team around players, right? So where there's not just a star there, but making sure to build around that star. And so I'm really all about Ime Udoka as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm all about Teresa Witherspoon. And really those are the three that sit at the top. I mean, Lee and Udoka right now are both at plus 400. And then Teresa Witherspoon as well as Jacques Vaughn are both at plus 500. So it's like 4-1 odds, 5-1 odds, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd be disappointed with any of those, honestly. They're all young.
They're all young. And can I just say how I feel like the city of New Orleans needs a coach that isn't just another white dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all of those would be great for the culture of New Orleans. I just feel like the city of New Orleans, fits like a young and representative of the future of NBA and not the past.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, and I think that the culture of New Orleans would support that too. Like, it's tough. I mean, it's tough to be a non-white coach in the NBA and the NFL and professional sports. Like, it's very tough because your leash is so short. You have to be Mike Tomlin. You have to not lose. You have to not have a losing season your entire career. Like, that's who you have to be in order to not get ousted right away. And it's challenging. And, on top of that, you're also looking at the potential of the NFL's first female head coach as well. It's Teresa Witherspoon, a Becky Hammon. And so, like, I think that New Orleans would support that new era of the NBA in a way that you might not see in other markets and with other ownership as well.
Mm-hmm. Ross, well, let's talk a little bit about tonight's game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What do you think of it? What are you thinking about going into it?
Well, I mean, I think that my expectation is that the Nets are gonna knock the Bucks out. I just don't really have any trust in the Bucks. I know I've mentioned that several times before, but that still is true. Right now, the Bucks are actually favored 5.5 going into this one, but I don't trust that at all. So I'm taking the Nets to finish up the series tonight.
Awesome. I'm as well. I feel like it's really hard to lose like that and then come back and then win the next game.
Yeah. In fact, now that I'm seeing that the Nets are underdogs, I'm just gonna quickly put a little bet on that because that's
You have to assume James Harden's going to feel even better than last
Right.
game. KD, it is like we don't know what, like, because him and KD both played a lot 2 days ago, especially James Harden off the bench. But you got to feel like it's not like they're going to give up.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I do want to talk about something else, Ross. Something else that got announced today. Switching topics. The Walter Camp 2021 preseason All-American teams got announced for college football going into this season, and I feel like we need to start ramping up the college football talks, Ross. So why don't we talk about the preseason All-Americans?
I'm all about it. Let's hit some preseason All-Americans. You got the list?
I got it in front of me. First team and second team. Do you have any guesses for some first team wide receivers? Because let me guess, I think you're going to be right about one of them.
Oh, I'm just going to throw a name out there. I know, not a lot of people have heard of the guy and whatever. He plays on a little team, but I'm just going to throw his name out there. Chris Olave of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
He is one of the two. The other one is Justin Ross out of Clemson.
That is maybe.
If he's healthy.
He's outstanding when he's healthy.
Okay, tight end, first team tight end, Charlie Kohler out of Iowa State. Mm-hmm. Love us some Iowa.
Yeah.
We love an Iowa State, and really just the state of Iowa tight end. Offensive line. Point out if any of these names jump off the map to you. Darian Kennard out of Kentucky, Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M, Evan Neal, Alabama, and Thayer Munford out of Ohio State. Any of those names ring a bell, or you have anything to say about any of them?
Not at the moment.
All right, center Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa.
Okay.
I like how they separated offensive line and center. And then quarterback, Ross. Who do you think the first team quarterback is for All-America?
I'm going to assume that it's not somebody obvious because I would imagine that it would be like Sam Howell. But I'm going to say it's Spencer Rattler instead.
It is Sam Howell.
Oh, very good.
I was trying to see if you thought it was Sam Howell or Spencer Rattler, because I thought the obvious one to me was Spencer Rattler. I thought they were going to go Spencer Rattler. But, hey, they went with running back Breece Hall and Mohammed Ibrahim out of Minnesota. And then place kicker, Ross, oh boy, Cade York.
Hey!
Out of
Shout
LSU.
out Cade York. That's great.
All right, first team defense. If any of these names ring a bell to you, you have something to say, just let me know. Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Breesy out of Clemson. DeMarvin Leal and Haskell Garrett. DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M. Would love for him to be a New Orleans Saint. Can I just say that? Oh, my goodness. And then Haskell Garrett out of Ohio State.
I'm only scouting first-round offensive and defensive linemen next year.
As you should.
Any first-round wide receivers, I'm looking past. Sorry, Chris Olave. Drop to the second round for me, though, and I'll take a look. But
linebackers, Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, Mike Rose, Iowa State, Nick Benito, Oklahoma.
Nick Benito, I like.
Defensive backs.
Hey.
Oh, boy.
Derek
Stingley Jr.
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
Kyle Hamilton, obviously got to be up there out of Notre Dame. Sauce Gardner, first team name for sure.
First team
out of
name for certain.
Out of Cincinnati. And then Brandon Joseph out of Northwestern.
Yeah. Northwestern continues to put out really good defensive backs.
First team punter, Lou Headley, and also Marcus Jones out of Houston.
Is that a black punter?
I have no clue.
One moment.
see.
Hold, please.
Houston. Marcus Jones, Houston.
Oh, there's a cornerback named Marcus Jones that plays for Houston.
Then I guess it's him. But he is
Oh.
not a kicker. He's listed as a place kicker here. Oh, kick returner. Kick returner.
Ah,
Kick returner.
that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Say,
Second,
love a
what did you say?
I love a black punter.
second team offense: Marvin Mims out of Oklahoma, George Pickens out of Georgia, tight end Jalen Weidermeyer out of Texas A&M. Offensive lineman Jamari. Oh, here you go, Ross. Offensive lineman. Keep in mind, keep these names. Jamari Salyer out of Georgia, Jordan McFadden out of Clemson, Kane Madden out of Notre Dame, and Jackson Kirkland out of Washington. What a group of names!
Those are great names. I gotta say, Jackson Kirkland out of Washington. That feels like the pick right there.
Is it?
Feels like
It's
the pick.
spelled the same as Jackson Hayes.
Oh yeah. That feels like the pick. Symmetry, you know.
Yeah.
Symmetry. Or if they trade away Jackson Hayes this offseason.
Quarterback, center, Colin Newell out of Iowa State. Quarterback Spencer Rattler.
There he is.
Another great name. This is a great group of names. Running back Sincere McCormick.
Oh,
And then also Bijan Robinson. out of
Bijan
Texas.
Robinson.
My guy. That's my guy, Ross. Bijan Robinson. My dude.
that's your dude.
Place kicker Anders Carlson. Another great name. Defensive lineman, second team defense. I already see some great names and one that I cannot pronounce. Defensive line Miles Murphy out of Clemson, Jordan Davis out of Georgia, Majai Sanders out of Cincinnati, Kalijah Cansey out of Pittsburgh, and then Edefwan Ulofosio out of Washington. I'm gonna say is how you pronounce that.
Okay. A valiant effort, if not how to pronounce it.
Edefwan Ulofosio. First time seeing that name. Out of Washington. Devin Lloyd out of Utah. Micah McFadden out of Indiana. Defensive backs. Eli Ricks out of LSU.
Hey.
Josh Jobe out of Alabama.
Sure.
Trevius Hodges Tomlinson out of TCU.
That's a great name.
Khair Elam out of Florida. And then punter Jake Camarda. And then kick returner Aaron Cruikshank out of Rutgers.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Did Cruikshank play somewhere else, too? Or did he transfer to Rutgers?
Aaron Cruikshank. Wisconsin, maybe? No? I don't think he did.
Oh, well, okay. I just feel like I remember his name. Maybe.
Washington.
Washington.
Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
It was Wisconsin. Okay, great. Great.
Yes, Wisconsin.
Okay. So say I know I've heard his name before, and if he played for Rutgers, I would not have heard his name. There's only one name. There's only one name I know
he
from
played
Rutgers.
a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
Who do you know from Rutgers?
Art Sitkowski.
Where art thou? I love me some Art Sitkowski. And also he's not at Rutgers anymore.
I know. From Rutgers. The only other name that I know from
We're
Rutgers.
RT, not in New Jersey. Close, though, in Illinois. I say close because Illinois looks like Syracuse. The same color scheme, the same logo, just a different letter. Everything. Same uniforms.
But you know Rutgers is in Syracuse.
Rutgers is in New Jersey.
Right.
New Jersey's close to Syracuse. Syracuse looks like Illinois.
Therefore,
Rutgers
is close to Illinois.
It's
Yeah.
close to Illinois.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That tracks.
Yep. So yeah, there's some preseason. How excited are you for this college football season, Ross?
Very.
Man, I cannot wait.
I'm so excited for college football to be back with fans. Oh man.
and having an
And
actual
bands?
season and having an actual season.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna have to sit through 4 Pac-12 games. I only having 4 Pac-12 games. Are you kidding
Right.
me?
Yeah,
I'm
you only
so
had
excited.
like 6 Pac-12 after dark matchups at best.
I know. I'm just really excited, man.
I'm very
Oh.
excited for it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We got a new bowl game sponsor this year, Ross.
Ooh.
It's the Jimmy Kimmel Los Angeles Bowl
That's
at
what
SoFi
that
Stadium.
meant.
Yeah.
That's what that meant.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was some type of like informal thing. But no, it's legitimately the Jimmy Kimmel Los Angeles Bowl.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Shout out to Jimmy Kimmel.
I love that.
Jimmy Kimmel was like, I want a bowl game. Mm-hmm. And basically just became, I think that's how you get the key to Los Angeles. I think that's the way that works.
Is it?
Yeah, like he just basically became the name of Los Angeles. It's the Jimmy Kimmel Los Angeles Bowl. It's not the Los Angeles Bowl game.
Uh-huh.
Jimmy Kimmel's apostrophe S Los Angeles Bowl. He just claimed all of Los Angeles. That's pretty impressive.
Can I also want to give a shout out to some college football players. Have you heard about what's going on with Nebraska and the McCaffrey brothers today?
No, I have not heard about this.
Okay, so Scott Frost.
Uh-huh.
More words. Yeah, coach of Nebraska. More words on the Wild Nature transfer portal from Scott Frost, who referenced Luke McCaffrey without mentioning his name. Buckle up, because this isn't the last time you're going to see this happening. A lot of those kids are getting bad advice. That's what Scott Frost said about Luke McCaffrey.
Okay.
Max McCaffrey, tweeted out, transfers in college, brings in transfers this week, bad advice. Treat all players, former and current, with respect, especially kids. Come on, man. And then posted a screenshot of Frost began his collegiate career as a 2-year letterman at Stanford in 1993 before transferring to Nebraska in 1995. And Christian McCaffrey said, hold on, didn't you transfer? PSA to all recruit. This is Christian McCaffrey.
Whoa.
Hold on, didn't you transfer? PSA to all recruits, take note on how a coach treats his players once they're no longer useful to him. All-time terrible recruiting situation over
Whoa.
there in Nebraska. To have Christian McCaffrey, you know how many kids look up to Christian McCaffrey? To
Yeah.
have him telling y'all, do not trust this man.
Woof. Yikes.
It's also wild to say that in the week that he's just signed transfer players.
Yeah, of course.
If you're a coach, you need to be embracing the transfer portal. I don't get it. I really don't get it, man. Really incendiary stuff over there from Scott Frost. Just like lighting his own reputation on fire from already having a rough start in Nebraska as well.
Right. Yeah, because he was going to be the savior of the Nebraska program. It was
Yeah.
huge that he was going back to Nebraska and he was going to do it. And he had like come off of a successful year elsewhere. And then, and it brought a lot of recruiting attention. And now he's bringing recruiting attention for all the wrong reasons. Like so many teams benefit off of the transfer portal. I can't understand why coaches keep talking trash about it.
You gain nothing. You gain nothing from talking bad about the players having decisions, because it's just going to make people not like you.
Right.
It's just going to make players be like, oh, you don't think I should have a choice in my future?
And then they're not coming to your team if you're making them feel that way. Like, ugh. Like, and like recruitment is such a, well, obviously it's such a huge part of what you do in college, but like beyond just like it being a big part of what you do, like it's a game you have to play. Like you have to empower players. Mm-hmm. Because you have to empower them to feel like they're making the right decision in choosing your program, which in and of itself is a choice. So when you criticize them for getting bad information or bad advice because they're choosing to transfer, which is a benefit to your team, when players are literally transferring to your team, like that's just dumb. Ungood.
I'm good. And Ross, I know you're excited. What are you doing in 2029?
What am I doing in 2029?
Yeah.
Going to what's happening in 2029?
Auburn and Miami announced a home and home for 2029 and 2030.
Oh man, can't wait! I know what I'm doing in 2029.
That's one of my
2030.
that's one of my favorite things about college football. Is like we know, like people are like, all right, guys, big home and home scheduled for 2034 to 2035. Whenever no one at this school is gonna be there.
We should write down. We should like track all of the players. We know that the players will be there, but we should track the coaching staff because we know the players won't be there.
Even the athletic directors,
right?
It's like that's a future me problem,
right?
I'm assigning my next dude up to face you.
I'm not gonna be here.
I'm not gonna be here. It's like, hey, Rutgers approaches LSU. Like, hey, you want to LSU approaches Rutgers and it'd be like, hey, you want to play a home and home in 2050? And the guy's like, huh, I ain't gonna be here. And it's like, this will be a funny prank to pull on whoever the athletic director is in 2050.
They're like, bet.
Yeah. Now that guy has to play LSU.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited for football, man.
Yeah. And remember, we're not getting into the play. Like, it's still a 14 playoff next year. We're not going into 12-team playoff until 2025? Mm-hmm. And everything at the earliest. And so so it's the same college football season that we knew before COVID and stuff that we get here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very exciting. And we get the Jimmy Kimmel Los Angeles Bowl at SoFi Stadium. Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Pretty good. I'm excited. Let's talk about one more thing. Some teams in the top 25 that are going to have new quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
See, Emory Jones out of Florida is a guy that has been getting a lot of attention on Twitter, and can I be real? Someone I did not expect.
Yeah. I
didn't expect him to get a lot of love on Twitter. I've seen him throw footballs a lot, and I've not been really impressed. At least in person.
Maybe he turns it around.
At least in person, I've never been jaw dropped by an Emory Jones throw or anything. But I mean, hope for the best for him.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember of from Emory Jones is him going over to the sidelines and puking once.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember from him. Casey Thompson out of Texas.
Mm-hmm. Texas is back.
Someone that Notre Dame fans are very excited for. Jack Cohn.
Right, in place of Ian Book.
Yeah. Coming in, transferring from Wisconsin. Anthony Brown in Oregon, a guy who has been in college football for about 45 years. I think he might be a sixth year. I think he's a 6th-year senior.
Wow. So he's ready, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Haynes King over at Texas A&M. What a College Station name. Haynes King. CJ Stroud, our boy over at Iowa State.
There you go.
DJ Uiagalelei out of Clemson. And then Bryce Young out of Alabama. Who do you think's the best off out of that group?
What was that last one again?
Bryce Young.
That one. Anyone, it's like the San Francisco 49ers situation, right? It's where we talk about which of the rookie quarterbacks is going to be the most immediately successful, and we were kind of like, whichever one ends up with San Francisco, whoever ends up being the quarterback for Alabama is going to be, I think, immediately the most successful.
Don't think he's too small to succeed at Alabama in the SEC?
Nah.
6 foot 190.
Nah.
You think he's good? You think it'll be good? Why? Because you don't think he's not gonna get hit anyway.
I'm not gonna be here.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get hit.
They're gonna go to hit him. He gonna be like, I'm not here.
They're gonna get to the pocket, and he's like, I ain't gonna be there. And he's gonna be running down the field for
That's right.
50 yards.
That's right.
All right, Ross.
Buddy, we got one more day left in the week. We'll be back tomorrow on Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Dylan, you feel like we saved sports today?
You know what we did save?
What's that?
Garrett Cole.
We saved Garrett Cole.
bringing attention to his good answers as opposed to his bad ones.
Yes. Dylan and Ross saved Garrett Cole. We'll be back with you tomorrow. It's Dylan Sanders at Dilly Sanders on Twitter. I'm Ross Jackson at Ross Jackson Nola on Twitter. Make sure you check out at Full Press Radio. And Dylan, what did we learn today?
What did we learn? We learned I ain't gonna be here.
I ain't
don't
gonna be
know.
here.
I ain't gonna be here.
All right, Sean, we'll see you tomorrow.